There we go. Greetings, you all. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to 773 Oracle and Tarot. What we got going on here? Hold on for a second. Sorry, y'all. Phone just, of course, when I go on, phone just going off, y'all. Phone just going off. Greetings, y'all. Well, first off, give yourselves a great big round of applause, y'all. Y'all made it to Friday. Shit. You know, y'all, the Cubs, they're going to Milwaukee. So, things was up in the air and everything. Yay, Cubbies. But baby, she been working. Let me see. Mr. Stevens, I'll be in a much needed appointment, so I can't make it. Okay, but Mr. Stevens, that don't mean that you can't see the replay. All right? That don't mean you can't see the replay. Wherever you at, Mr. Stevens, I hope you have an amazing day, my love. Again, y'all, Nene, greetings, my love. Greetings, my darling. How are you? Yeah, baby, this year we're doing a little lunchtime thing, baby. We're doing a little lunchtime thing, sweetie. Get these people together, honey. Nay, you made it to Friday. Are you excited? You made it, baby. Oh, before we do anything, y'all, Shanae says, I see. Y'all, we're going to get our spiritual downloads from the Wisdom of the Oracle from the First Lady of Hay House herself, Miss Colette Marion Reed, okay? So y'all going to see my shuffle. Y'all going to see my pull. All right. Yeah, this week has been something else. This week has been something. How do I want to say it? Y'all could feel people, like their jaw was tight, their teeth were clenched. Y'all could have saw that today. You could see that, or I should say this week. But baby. Y'all saw my shuffle, y'all saw my pull. Let me put these cards back in here. But darling, today, we have got some balance. We got some balance, y'all. Let me put my cards away. And those are for the collective. Okay. So today we've got Mercury, the planet of communication, in balancing Libra. But it's versing Chiron, the wounded warrior that is in retrograde in Aries. Aries, that fire sign. Aries, that sign that does too much. Aries, that sign that, that thinks that the world revolves around them. Okay. Plus, the moon is in Pisces. So we got a lot. Yeah. Miss Nay says the tension in the air has been thicker. It's been as thick as my thigh. It's been as thick as my waist. That's pretty damn thick. I need to get on those Ozempic, y'all. Yesterday, first off, y'all can't hear my music, can you? Can y'all hear my music? Because, baby, YouTube be quick to pull that video down. What does the Bible say about card readers and witchcraft? I forgot. Baby, you want to know something, Rockaway Point? You're going to have to do that research yourself, darling, because if it said anything in objection, then what are you doing in a chat that is entitled 773 Oracle and Tarot? Don't try me, Rockaway Point. So anyway, always gotta be somebody, right? Always gotta be. So listen, it's Friday and I've been good, honey. Listen, these cards are not the only thing I can read, honey. I will definitely read that ass. So yesterday, the skies had us really tight. Mars was squaring up with the moon. And the vibe was all short fuses and side eyes. And like everybody was ready to pop off. So the lesson was not taking the bait. Okay, the lesson was not taking the bait. Like, for instance, like that little comment, that little Rockaway Point is doing that. So, see, I'm not going to take that bait. I'm not going to take that bait. Because if I took that bait, I would only say that he's only living, or they are only living through their legacy, which is where they were, they were found at. But I'm not taking that bait, okay? But again, hey, Rockway, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Jesus loves you. So we were told not to let anybody pull us into their storm or into a fight that was never yours. But today, we shift. Mercury in Libra opposes Chiron retrograding in Aries, while the moon slides into soft Pisces. Translation, instead of snapping, there's a chance to actually talk it out and heal what has been festering. When yesterday was all about clenched jaws, today we are opening up our throat chakra. We letting it out. Where tension threatened to break us, this is going to be a space for real connection. So this is a cosmic cleanup energy. The argument that you almost had yesterday, we're going to be able to flip it into a breakthrough conversation. So let me show, wait a minute. So I can show you better than I could tell you. All right. So yesterday, the energy was about this tarot card, this tarot energy, this tower energy, the blow up that was waiting to happen. Today's vibe, we got the star. We got the star, babies. The healing waters after the storm. We also got the Two of Cups, a safe space, the conversation that reconnects instead of divides. So before I go any further, let me tell you something. I broke it down yesterday why we take the bait, because we were protecting our unhealed wounds, which is the reason why you always hear me say, get your mind right, watch your mouth. Okay. Yesterday was a mirror showing us where those sore spots, where those weak spots live within our psyche. Today the stars are offering you a chance to actually air them out instead of hiding behind this anger. So, when we take the bait, is because we're trying to secure ourselves. But today we have this opportunity to understand that vulnerability isn't weakness. Really, if you want to know, vulnerability is the courage to drop the armor and say, yo, this hurt me. And that's where true healing begins, kids. When you don't react, when you act from a place of trying to be understood, that is where the healing begins. So the same words that we use to cut somebody up are now the same words that we can use to mend somebody. So you can declare to, here's your affirmation. It's not, no, I don't want to give you that as an affirmation. I'm going to say this. You can declare for yourself, I am safe to speak. I am safe to be heard. And I am safe to release. Your affirmation that I want to give you for that is, I don't hold it in. I don't hold it back. My words are healing. My words are the truth. I don't hold it in. I don't hold it back. My words are healing. My truth is power. Okay? Half the time, the majority of the problems that we have is because we never have those direct conversations. And we could avoid a lot of the bullshit if we nip what messes with us right there in the bud. Thing is, though, people often struggle with having direct conversations because of like a few things. Number one, like fear of rejection. People hold back because they're scared the other person won't receive them correctly. Deep down, it's like, what if they don't care? What if I get shut down? That fear of hearing no or being dismissed can make folks shut down before they even try. So this is your opportunity to flip that shit. Rejection isn't the end. Rejection is redirection. Instead of letting no bruise your ego, let no be used as information. It tells you where that person stands, and it frees you to stand stronger in your own truth. So with that being said, look at, with that one being said, we got the Five of Pentacles, that lonely left out energy. That lonely left out energy. But the lesson in this card is you're not actually locked out. The door is always there if you're willing to look up and walk through it. All right? Look at that. Understanding is only a glance away, but they're so busy with what they feel there is their goal. They can't see nothing else. So like I said, you're not locked out. The door is always there if you're willing to look around and look up, for it, So, with this card, I want to, here we go. With this card, we're going to affirm. I am never rejected, only redirected to what supports me. I am never rejected, only redirected to what supports me. All right, I'm gonna put that aside. So another reason why people don't have those conversations, those direct conversations, is something that's called conflict avoidance. Folks run from conflict like it's a house on fire. Their nervous system equates confrontation with danger. So they rather bite their tongues than shake a table or light a match. The problem is silence doesn't always keep the peace. You being quiet on the shit that bothers you is not going to change it. It just bottles up resentment. It bottles up resentment for yourself for not have acted sooner. It bottles up resentment towards that other person that's making you feel that way. You all got to understand that conflict doesn't always equal chaos. Sometimes you all got to be that interruption to that pathology. And sometimes you got to understand that universal mind, orchestrated that so you could learn, so that you could have some character building, so that you know what to do as you progress towards your journey. Because baby, your journey is not always going to be smooth sailing. And when you come in contact with that conflict, sweetheart, like I said, the number, the numerological aspect, the number 5, we're talking about instability, challenges, loss, conflicts, changes, but with that, you also have new experiences. So those challenges, think of them as the number 5. You got to have that in order to have a new experience. That new experience is going to give you understanding. All right. The best thing that happens when you have this situation is try using I sentences like I feel. The I feel statement, that keeps it about you instead of pointing fingers. Because if people are going to be defensive, you can make it about you so that they can have a sense of understanding, which opens the door for, which opens the door for a conversation. Building your tolerance with those small conversations first, before tackling the heavier ones, that's going to be a skill that's going to really help you out. When we do that, we're talking about this right here. The Two of Swords. We're talking about the Two of Swords. It's that classic stalemate card. Stuck, blindfolded, refusing to decide. But once you take that blindfold off, that clarity is going to flow and that fear is going to dissolve. So with this right here, we're going to affirm, I choose peace through honesty, not silence. I choose peace through honesty, not silence. All right. Let me see what my chat is doing. Oh, Rockaway Point. I often look through the trash. Of course you would. Oh, I can't stand you. I like them, Nay. Nay, I love me the trolls. Yeah. Yeah. Nay, let me tell you about the trolls. They think I'm more important. You know what I'm saying? This is a tiny little tarot YouTube channel. They come in here thinking I'm all that. So I appreciate their energy. Hey, Sal, greetings. Sal, look at the mantel. Look at the new Dia de los Muertos mantel. All right. Moving right along. Some of the reasons why people avoid those hard conversations because they're perfectionists or they're overthinking. That's that, what if I say it wrong? What if they take it wrong? You know, that loop, that mental loop, it gets so loud that it paralyzes folks. You know, they overanalyze every word and then they end up saying nothing at all. Y'all, you gotta release. You gotta release that need for perfection. You gotta release that need for perfection. When you release that need for perfection, the conversations aren't staged. You know, they're not like theater. You know, they're not like high drama. You know, they are actually living, breathing energy. You know, the beauty is in the imperfection. The beauty is in allowing yourself to be vulnerable and go back and be able to say it over again in a manner that you wanted to. But the point is that you say it. Showing up as a human with all the flaws and all the imperfections that every human being makes will always hit harder than showing up perfected and robotic. So with that one, we got the for that perfection shit, that is very much the Eight of Swords. You trapped in your own thoughts. You're not really bound. You just believe you are. And the second you take a step, those ropes are going to fall loose. So with that being said, the affirmation for this one is, I release the need to be perfect. My truth is enough. Y'all, if I thought that I had to be perfect or something like that, trust me, you would not be seeing me in the way that I am. I cuss. Not because it's for, how do I want to say it? Not for dramatic effect, because that's who I am. I say shit in a language that people can understand. Y'all, look at this. I'm growing my gray hair out. I'm in this, my ring just caught my hair. I'm in this t-shirt. Baby, I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be real. And that's what I want you all to do. Your humanness, your realness, baby, it's beautiful. Those imperfections, baby, it's beautiful. I need you all to live in your imperfected humanness. Baby, we're not going for perfection. We're going for experience. And baby, experience can also be messy. Go on and be messy. Go on and be messy. Another reason why people don't like having like hard conversations is because of past experiences. If in the past, speaking up for yourself got you punished, ignored, or abandoned, your body keeps the score. That's a DNA thing. Even when you feel safe now, your nervous system reacts like, like that shit that happened as a child is still here. You're back there when you were vulnerable. You're back there when you were helpless. That old trauma is whispering you, stay quiet or you'll get hurt. But that's old trauma. You got to take the lessons from the past, but not be a prisoner of your past. Your past got you to where you're at right now. And when you can move past it, now you made your past something that you can build on. But if you were reacting from old traumas, baby, you haven't progressed. You haven't progressed, and that's now cool. And that's now cool. To remedy that shit, you got to anchor yourself in the present and tell yourself that was then. This is now. I'm safe to speak my truth today. And when you use that grounding exercise, before talking, if you don't feel that's enough, write the shit down first. Write it down first. Look at what the words mean to you as you write them down. Write it down first, or practice with somebody you trust so that your body learns new associations. You got to heal those old wounds and allow your voice to finally breathe. Baby, right there, we're talking about Six of Cup energy, childhood memories, and the innocence of the past. Sometimes they hold sweetness, sometimes they hold scars. Healing those scars are going to bring you freedom to the grown-up you. We're going to affirm. The past does not control me. I am safe to speak my truth now. All right. So, another reason is like, people don't want to have like those hard conversations because they're afraid of hurting somebody. A lot of folks choke up on their own feelings because, they don't want to wound somebody else. They confuse honesty with cruelty, when in reality, that silence can hurt you the most. I'd rather be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie. Sometimes the truth hurts. And it doesn't need to be. And the only reason why the truth hurts is because your ego was invested. Your ego was invested in that shit. But I'm going to tell you right now, you don't say that. You don't say that, baby. It's not a good thing because it doesn't free anybody, including yourself. Including yourself. You got to remember that. Remember, the truth, when you deliver it with care, that's called compassion. When you can deliver the truth with care, that's called compassion. You can be very real and still be kind. You can be real and still be kind. Your tone, the timing, the intention, all of that matters more than the content itself. All of that matters. When I was in the classroom, I had a student, and I don't know why it's always a female. It's always a female. But her hygiene was not what it should have been. Her hygiene was very lacking, and it was loud. It was loud, and I knew as her teacher, I knew I was going to have this conversation. So what I did was that day when I left school, I went to CVS and I got her like one of those little travel kits, the ones that have like the mouthwash and all of that stuff. And when class had assignment, I asked her if she would join me outside. I had to get another teacher, because you got to do that. And then I said, darling, listen, we don't have to talk about this no more. But sweetheart, you gotta start taking better care of yourself. And this is for you. And you use that. And you continue to use that. And we do not have to have this conversation again. I just want you to be the best version of yourself. Is that okay? And she knew exactly what I was talking about. And then the next day, that issue was taken care of. And throughout the rest of the semester, that issue was taken care of. And we never spoke about it again. And for me, Yeah, she lit up the classroom, but I didn't want the rest of the classroom talking shit about her. So again, it was my intention and it was my delivery. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we got the Queen of Cups. We got the Queen of Cups. Her Majesty is the master of emotional intelligence. She speaks the truth, but it's always wrapped up in empathy. It's always wrapped up in grace. So when you got to have those conversations, be the Queen of Cups. Master your emotional intelligence. Speak your truth. Be empathetic, but be graceful. And with this card right here, we're going to affirm, I speak truth with love and my honesty heals. I speak truth with love and my honesty heals. Again, with this transit, we're going to be having those hard conversations today. And another reason why people don't want to have hard conversations is because shame or guilt. Some people feel like opening their mouths makes them too much or too needy. That there's a shame in talking or telling your feelings, making it feel like your feelings are a burden. So today, we're going to rewrite that narrative. Tell yourself daily, my needs matter. Your feelings are valid. Your needs are valid. They do matter. You tell yourself, my feelings are valid. Start small with that self-expression. Journaling. Journalize that shit. Do your affirmations or therapy. You just do whatever you got to do until that feeling begins to feel natural again. Do what you got to do until that feeling feels natural again. And the more you normalize your own voice, the less shame has control over it. You got to unblock that throat chakra, babies. Right here. With that shame, that ain't nothing but the devil right there. There's nothing else but the devil. The illusions of being chained by shame and false narratives. Those are chains. But they're loose enough for you to slip right out if you choose to. You got chains for sure. But they're loose enough to slip out of if you decide to. So with this card, you're going to affirm, you do your affirmation. I release shame. I'm worthy of expressing my needs. I'm worthy of expressing my needs. I've been talking. Let me see what the chat's going on. Oh, greetings, Miss Martha. Oh, thank you, Miss Martha. I'm glad you love it. And I'm glad you're on your lunch. Sal says, get the whole. I know what Sal meant by that. You see, that's why you didn't go to the rapture with your evil ass. We're going to move it right along. Again, the reason why we're doing this is because this transit says, for the past 3 days, we had to lock in ourselves. Today on Friday, you get to express yourselves. Now, don't go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Express your needs, but we're not trying to make up for those last 3 days now. All right. Go easy on them. We call that, Mrs. Stevens, greetings. Welcome back. We call that emotional flooding. The moment some people are faced with confrontation, the body short circuits. The heart starts racing. They start sweating. The palms start sweating. The brain starts shutting down. That anxiety starts hijacking the system. Slow it down. Breathe. Ground yourself before and during the talk. Even take a pause mid-question, mid-conversation. It's okay to say, I need a moment. When you're having those hard conversations, you feel that, take a breath. Give me a second. Give me a minute. Give me 1 second. Center yourself, pull yourself together. Get back to the topic at hand. That regulation is going to give you back control so that the emotions don't spill over into like the shutdown mode or explosives. With that being said, that the card for that one right there is the temperance, the art of the balance, mixing of fire and water until harmony is found. Now, if you find yourself one of those people that have, anxiety during they have those rough conversations, make the affirmation: I breathe, I balance, I speak from center. I breathe, I balance, and I speak from center. Many of the times people don't want to have those conversations is because, the need for belonging. Humans crave acceptance. Sometimes, that turns into staying quiet just to fit in, even if it means betraying yourself. But that's not belonging, that's performing. And that's not living, that's surrender. You're not here to do either one of them. Like I said, you're not here to be perfect, you're here to be real. Reframe what belonging really means. Because if shrinking yourself to fit in a particular environment is what you need to do, you're in the wrong environment. If shrinking yourself to fit in the environment around you is what you need to do in order to be accepted, you are in the wrong environment. And wait a minute, I can tell you from experience, I've done the shit myself. I've done that shit myself. Yeah. True connections only happen when you show up authentically. You all, I am extremely flawed, but one thing can never be said: I'm fake. I may be flawed, but I'm not fake. What you see is exactly what the fuck you get. No more, no less. If you mute yourself to keep the peace, you're not being accepted. You're just being tolerated. And muting yourself and being tolerated, the situation is still going to persist. So how did that work out for you? Better to risk rejection and gain a real connection than to settle for some fake shit. Right there. We're talking about the lovers. Not just romance, but the power of real aligned connection that is built on truth. When we talk about this with this card, we're going to affirm: I belong wherever I show up authentically. I belong wherever I show up authentically. I'm doing the thing today, ain't I, kids? I'm doing the thing today. Another reason people don't want to have conversations like that is because of safety. The deeper layer is safety. At the root of all this, safety. Our brain, our body, we're trying to protect, it's trying to protect us from being hurt. But the irony is avoiding tough conversations often creates the very pain that you were dodging. People have to start creating a safe space for truth. Choose your moment. Choose your words. Choose your environment. Ground yourself in the knowing that it is safe for you to be seen. Ground yourself in the knowing that it's safe for you to be heard. And the more you practice, the more your nervous system learns that speaking doesn't equal danger. So with that being said, the card for that one is strength. Not brute force, but gentle courage. Claiming that inner beast with patience and with heart. And when we talk about that, we're going to affirm: I am safe. I am strong, and my truth is power. So you all, so the astrological forecast said that that for the last 3 days, we were not taking the bait, where we were agreeing to disagreeing, where we were trying to find balance. Today, on Friday, the universe says, bitch, go ahead, have at it. Have at it. You know, it was more a testing ground. It was more of a testing ground. So today, you all are going to listen. If you feel tension creeping up again, we've had it for the last 5 days. If you all have that tension creeping up again, remember, yesterday taught us not to react, not to take the bait, but today invites us to respond. So be brave enough to let your guard down in the right places. Don't be no fool. You know, and here's the question for you all. What truths have you been holding back out of fear? And how could sharing those free you? That's what you got. That's the shit you got, you know? So yeah, like I said, the truth will set you free, but sometimes it will piss you off. But you start from there. At least you're not starting from some bullshit. All right, y'all. People joining the chat. I did my shuffle. I did my pull. We're getting it from the First Lady of Hay House herself, Miss Colette Baron Reed, the Wisdom of the Oracle. I'm not going to be going through the whole 5 elements. I'm going to do the collective. It is. I've been on for 37 minutes. People got to go back to work. All right. So here we go. We got. Okay. All right. For the collective, we got card number 43. 4 plus 3 is 7. When we talk about the numerological aspects of the number 7, we're talking about potential. We're talking about ambition. We're talking about victory. We're talking about success. We're talking about luck. We're talking about resourcefulness. Baby, this card right here, it says deeper knowing. Deeper knowing. Y'all, hey, wait a minute. I cannot make this shit up. You all saw my shuffle. You all saw my pull. Here it is. The question that's being asked right now is, are you trusting your gut or second guessing it? Are the emotions, the confusion, doubt, are you overthinking? Universal mind gives you the situation at the right time. Your spirit already knows the answers. Your mind just has to catch up. So with that being said, y'all are going to have to start trusting your instincts. You all are going to have to start trusting your intuition. You all are going to have to start trusting your inner wisdom. I've told you this in the past. Your intuition is your channel to the divine. Intuition is your brain processing truth faster than logic can. Stop outsourcing the answers. Stop looking for validation. Trust yourselves. Trust yourselves. With this card right here, and then I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to let you go. All right. Your affirmation is. We're going to keep it simple. Deeper knowing. Here's your affirmation. I am guided by divine wisdom within me. I am guided by the divine wisdom within me. That's it. That's all. When universal mind is with you, who could be against you? And if you're going to put your trust in universal mind, then you better start putting your trust in yourself. I'm guided by the divine wisdom within me. Okay. So let me see. So have bail money. Well, well, let's hope they do. Let's hope they take a cash bond. Okay, Sal. Let's hope they take a cash bond. Martha, yes, thank you and amen. That's it. That's all, y'all. That's it. That's all. Yeah, y'all got the answers. Y'all just, a lot of times, the shit that we are most afraid of is what we're most, it really wouldn't come through. And again, if you're in a situation where you got to speak out, that's going to make somebody uncomfortable. Remember, you didn't orchestrate that. You're just being reactive to the trigger. Sal says, I got my coupons. Well, you live in Florida. You're going to need them. Okay. All right, you all. Listen. So everything is up in the air right now. Everything is up in the air right now. Listen, in the comments, let me know if you all want me to come on tomorrow night. We could do some nasty old readings, okay? Maybe it's Saturday night, nasty old reading nights. Let's see what goes down. Let's see what goes down. If we don't do it Saturday, I'm going to get you all together on Sunday so you all are ready on Mondays, okay? But listen, you all made it to Friday. I'm so happy for you. To Nene Owens, to Mr. Michael Stevens, to my Judy on duty, Miss Martha Flores, to Sal E, who gave us this beautiful mantel, and my Palo Santo. Thank you so much for joining. So thank you so much for joining. Happy Friday to you all. Happy everything to you all. Shit, happy everything to you all. Again, you're gonna have some rough conversations today. You're gonna have some rough conversations today. Tell me, do one thing for yourself today. If listen, before you come home from work, stop off at the lake, put your feet in the water, or go get you an ice cream before you go home, or go get you a Starbucks. Notice everything is about food, right? Do something, but do one little thing for yourself by yourself. And in that moment, congratulate yourself for making it through a really rough 5-day work cycle. You all did good. You all did good. If no one else told you, I'm going to tell you. I'm proud of you all. I'm proud. The world is crazy out here. The world is crazy. It's confusing and it's shaky. And right now we are all doing our utmost just to hold on. And if you're a cubicle girl, you made it through Friday. If you're a service worker, listen, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, let's hope that the money flows, right? So there we go. All right, y'all. Stay in alignment, stay on assignment, and you all stay blessed. Thank you for joining. Bye.